What's your choice?
Venice.
Venice? Oh no!
Oh boy, we're never coming to resolution on this one.
Well played, well played. I'm not going to take that away from you. But overall, going into our next round, what do you think some of these teams have to take away? I think that the plane was pretty good for the most part. It didn't limit too many locations. What do you think?
It didn't really shine the light on any location in particular as though this is going to be a hot drop, but there was a lot of stuff that was in range. You saw it kind of splitting the difference between key military base against Naya Polyana, flying right on through the middle there on the diagonal. So a really solid plane path for the most part. Maybe we'll see another one this game.
Yeah, and pretty much the ending zone there just pushing all the way up to George Bull, even though people were landing at the beginning there in military base. So great rotations by some teams. I'm looking to see if some teams are going to start landing more towards they're more comfortable. So BRK, are they going to maybe Cloud9, are they going to start going to Novo? I'm looking forward to see if they're going to start doing that or if they're just going to keep on mixing it up.
That zone, though, that is his favorite zone in all of Erangel that we saw at the end of that game, just out in the middle of nowhere, absolutely no cover. And if somebody's in that sniper tower in that building, as GT Doyu was, they're in a supreme position. But it's even that's not safe because it's just like throw nades at me, you know. So
I mean, it wasn't only the circle over water; it was also over a bridge as well for a little bit of time, which. Water and bridge creates multi-leveled weird fights going on in such an odd area.
And as we saw there, pretty much they were taking advantage of it. They were just crouching under the bridge, being a munchkin pretty much, and just shooting people out of the water as they were starting to coming up.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it was really really interesting to see. Another kind of note that I had from game one was Team Japan caught in vehicles multiple times out in fields, just trying to drive peacefully, I might add, from one location to the next, and they got shot at by Cloud9. They got blown at the end. You know, everything seemed like it was pretty chaotic enough. Then Team Japan driving through and then just ultimately got destroyed.
Yeah, risky plays. I think it was the terror team also did that as well.
Same thing, but they were able to sneak across the bridge.
They were, and then Hyro was trying to do that too. So a lot of teams just taking riskier plays. Are they going to learn from that, or are they just going to go ahead and, you know what, maybe that was just bad luck there on that one. Let's just go ahead and continue.
I think luck had a lot to do with it. That zone really kind of forced. I mean, you saw how many people were left alive. That was one thing. You got to give credit to all these teams. Just staying alive with no real cover and in a tiny circle like that. Don't have a lot of choice besides, well, let's just hit it and hope for the best. And unfortunately, for a couple of the teams, it didn't work out. Others, it did.
EVOS in that position at the very end. Actually, we're quite fortunate that we saw Doyu show themselves in the tower as well, because coming off of that ridge next to where the river is can be very difficult against that tower in itself, right?
It can. It's got some great cover there. You can kind of move horizontally back and forth. But the tower being the prime position, but the tower also, you know exactly where they're going to be. So you know where to put your crosshair, and as soon as they peek, that's the end of it.
Yeah, and if you get cursed, pretty much over for you. As we saw pretty much for Seagod there, an outsider trying to get away, but ultimately they just got killed.
And obviously we saw whilst these teams were thinking about their strategy, able to kind of plan out some of their rotations, even with the little stylus of the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, to try and figure out exactly where they want to go. Obviously, they don't know exactly where the plane path is going to be just yet for this game, but overall, you can get a good grasp, especially towards the center of the map, to know where you want to go eventually. People have their usual path.
Certainly. I want to see, as Seven mentioned, if the teams start to gravitate towards their natural landing spots. I feel like strategy played a big part in this first game. Teams didn't want to reveal what they're normally comfortable with. They all said that they did some studying, and they altered kind of where they started out.
Well, gentlemen, we are ready. It's going to be game number 2 here of our tournament as a whole to figure out who's going to be able to rack up the points and who is going to be able to catch up with EVOS and Doyu to get things going. 7, PB, take it away.
Let's do this, baby. Game number 2. Who's going to go ahead and win it? Let us know. You're currently watching at home. Whether you're watching on Twitch or on YouTube, comment below right now who you got. And oh my God, that plane, I cannot get it over that flame is just so awesome.
Don't look up. You'll get it cut by a propeller. That thing is unbelievably cool. Flying through the arena here, dropping in the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, displaying round 2 of the PUBG Mobile Star Challenge Global Finals.
Let's see what this playing path is going to be, because we saw it earlier. Played the tournaments, a lot of stuff.
Hey,
and as we were
it's the
mentioning,
same path, but flipped a little bit. We're going to go diagonally through the map again from the north this time, flying on down south through the military base, which does put Nova Noye in range, but pretty much everything in range here on this playing path. This is a great path.
and something I noticed right away, Gangstars drops, and they're going to their natural habitat, George Bull.
Yeah, you kind of saw this one coming. They're going to head to North George and start looting up per usual. Let's see if a lot of these teams kind of get back to their roots here. And, we saw some of the teams that prefer Pochinki did not drop their last game, even though the playing path did allow it. We'll see if they do that again this game.
A lot of teams just starting to spread out. Actually, I'm loving this playing path here because it's going to allow teams to just pretty much go to where they usually want to go, right? They don't have to just jump into a car and try to go that way. And look at this, BRK, once again, dropping Atlantis, Watertown, Venice, whatever you want to call it. They're going there once again. It seems to work out there in the first match, so why not? Let's go ahead and do it again.
They're going to drop into a place with buildings and water. We'll call it that, buildings and water. Looting up, though, but they have company. Did you see that? They got another squad there looting up just on the outside, and it is Terror once again from India. These are the same guys last time that peeled off. Maybe this time, maybe they won't.
And look at Terror here, already with the NAM4. They got some guns. I saw somebody there from BRK pretty much just trying to run away because he didn't have a gun just yet. And once again, just to remind you, the top 10 scores, GT Doyu with 605 points, Evo's Burnout with 590, and LH Doyu.
Look at that, LH Doyu in its third place right now, and they did not finish anywhere near the top 3. Remember, Gangstars put them out much earlier. I believe they finished 7th or 8th overall in the standings. But with the 16, or was it 18? It was either 16 or 18 kills. Man, they rocketed up those rankings.
An interesting place here by the Terror team from India, as they are now starting to run away there from BR. Now, the only problem with this is that they're going to be super exposed. If for some reason any team passes by, they're going to be easy pickings.
I'm interested to see how these guys continue to play. It's kind of an interesting tactic, establishing yourself in an obscure location and then immediately giving up ground, even though you have the assault rifles and weapons already on your person. Not quite sure that decision. They've been very passive so far in this, tournament. Got Evos again squaring off, and yes, Naya.
Again, I wonder if they're going to go ahead and knock each other down one more time and realize, hey, you know what? We're going to keep on dropping here. What are we going to do here? Are we going to try to take each other off at the beginning of the match, or we're just going to pretty much do the same thing? Knock one down and then back up and just run away.
One thing I see developing with Evos and Cloud9, Cloud9 very separate from each other. These guys are all looting up solos, so if Evos does catch one of them, it's going to be curtains for him, unless they can pull off some sort of miracle rotation to pick up their teammates.
And LH Doyu actually having Novo all to themselves. My gosh, that's going to be a huge advantage there, because we saw them play really good in the last round, and if they're able to go ahead and get that loot, on top of that, just being able not to have to worry fighting anybody on Novo, that's crazy.
They've gone there twice now, kind of staking their claim. Novo is ours, and with those gun skills and with that performance in the first round, let's see if Cloud9 actually challenges that a little bit later on. I have a feeling they may steer clear and continue to loot up Yaz, as it's got a little bit more escape route, a little bit more versatility. And as you can see, the zone this game, very central, very friendly to pretty much everyone, everywhere on the map.
Yeah, and actually, Team Japan, very spread out. They're not even close to each other. I think they were maybe trying to get some cars and loot up, but interesting plays there by them, as they do have GT Doyu fairly close in school. One of the people's favorite drops sometimes.
We've got a split drop right now, looks like, from GT Doyu. They're heading school, Raz. They're trying to group up, but it looks like Team Japan over at the apartments right now, staking their claim. Six gonna have to get out of Dodge and head over to meet up with his team as he sees the folks over at the apartments.
And just to remind you at home, this is day 1, round number 2. We will be doing this tomorrow and the day after tomorrow until December 1st. So make sure you go ahead and tune in exact same time. In BTR taking I wasn't able to see that the name there, but just pretty much looting up as much as it can with the DP28 as well. Level 1 helmet, that's something that we're kind of been seeing in play here, if you have a level 1 helmet, you might not want to go ahead and take a fight because everybody is just so accurate.
What if you have a level 1 helmet with spikes on it like that guy?
I might take it. I'm sold.
Yeah, maybe, Kato has here the level 1 helmet with spikes on it as well. Looking pretty solid here, but again, sweet backpack, really cool gear, man. All these guys are looking fly. Carnage has got that sweet white backpack on, and these guys are, look at him, he's just scouting, he's just looking around, he's trying to find those Evos guys.
It is, they're using that third-person perspective to their advantage. Once again, day number 1 is third person, day number 2 is first person, and day number 3 is going to go ahead and be third person once again. So you're going to be seeing a lot of people. If it's third person, you're getting a lot of people just put up their faces straight to the wall just so they can go ahead and look around the corner.
What's that guy doing there? Just staring at the wall.
And also, you're going to see a lot of snakes, it seems, in third person. If for some reason you don't know what snakes are, is when people just lay down on the ground. So do me a favor, if you're watching at home, spam some snakes in the chat, please, as Evos is still just looting up all these apartments, and my goodness, they already have an M4, they already got pens, they already got the whole 9, it seems.
Yeah, they're looking pretty solid right now. Evos again, really, really solid. They are, man, really great stuff. I mean, finishing first overall in the first game. CPT, interesting stuff here. Driving around outside of Pachinki, grabbing a spot on the hill here.
Trying to find the ocean to go surfing.
Buildings, interesting.
Yeah, find the ocean to go surfing there, and he doesn't currently. There you go. He does have one gun behind him, but he's trying to find more stuff. And that man has a level 2. Oh my gosh! Look at this right here. That sound actually not bad at all.
It's smack dab in the center. Even the teams that are out of it right now. Hero down in Primorsk. We got looks like the Arab up in the top left. They are all good to go.
And LH, they're really making it quick. They're currently just barely outside the zone, but their loot is gonna be just up the chain. And look at them. They're just pretty much switching ammo or whatever it is back and forth. Whatever you're more comfortable with, right? That's what it comes down to with these teams. If maybe a player doesn't like using the 4-time and one of their teammates does, then they're just going to go ahead and exchange that so they will be more comfortable and just feel it. That's something that actually comes, that I notice a lot of players prefer to do. Pick up something that you are comfortable with, even if it's not as powerful.
Correct. I think that that's something that, I get asked a lot of times, why do you prefer this weapon over that weapon? And it's just like, well, I do better with it. It's a very simple answer. It doesn't necessarily mean that statistically it's better or it puts out more damage per bullet, but, a lot of times if you're good with a weapon, you stick with it.
Yeah. Ooh, and look at this drop right here for Wildcard. Wildcard just on crates. That man, C got already with the ghillie suit. That's going to come in huge, especially towards the end of the match if it's for some reason out in the open. And here we got, they're actually getting shot at.
Russian bot getting shot at here.
They're getting shot at, and they're just waving around trying to juke them. They were able to actually get not even damage. They're going to be able to just loot up here and stand their ground.
They're going to hole up here, it looks like, closing the doors, kind of getting ready to fight potentially. They don't know if they're going to get chased out from Pachinki. I believe it was one of the Chinese teams, CPT, up on the hill that was firing shots at them as they drove by. And bot, there you see CPT on the hill. But we've got Big Russian Bot, second place finishers in Europe. And they've got a lot to prove here this particular match.
Yeah, something that I would like to go ahead and point out is that there's not that much action here at the beginning. Before, in the previous game, there was already some teams already out. Right now, everybody seems to be playing it safe now that game number 1 has passed. And look at this, the Terror team from India being able to go ahead and just work their way all the way a little bit towards, I believe that's a little bit towards Pachinki. Yeah,
this is the east side of Pachinki here, and it's looking pretty, or excuse me, west side.
That's a nifty spot there on top of the couch through that little window with the deep. A lot of the teams from India like using that DP.
Yeah, I think Asia in general really has a strong preference for the DP. You see some of the Chinese teams typically are preferring the M4 and like a 6-time scope, just absolute laser beams for aim. And then we've got our kind of pushing in towards Terra. I wonder if they know that they're there, if they know what they're getting into here. You see 2 members of our RRQ split off to the side, and Sakria's just waiting.
Yeah, RRQ definitely playing it safe there. They might have been able to hear him, or they might have been able to hear something, because RRQ D2E is just waiting patiently. Oh yeah, they know. Senior is calling them out with that mini 14, baby. He's just waiting for somebody to go in and peek, and all of them are in the exact same building. With that could actually, oh my gosh, look at this right here. GT getting some shots there on BTR. There you go. First blood of game number 2.
Great position there. BTR unfortunately going to have to leave Zuxi behind as Zuxi goes down. Man, one of the brothers eliminated here early.
In GT, though, you just pretty much finishing that man. They already got a lot of kills in the previous match. More than likely, they want to go ahead and continue that trend through every single match with already 1 kill. And loading him up, once again, the Scar.
RRQ, Athena, and Terror have kicked off as well. Terror, one of their members, did knock. The non goes down, and look at that grenade. Torpedo taking him down all the way in the warehouse. What a shot.
He say, hold up a bit. Kaiseho, I see that you're there. Back up.
You know, this is an opportune time for another grenade. You know where they're knocked. You know he hasn't crossed. The smoke's out. This is where you start lobbing in more grenades if you got them. You might be able to catch a second player down, and at that point, you have an opportunity to push.
And something that I think RRQ is going to go ahead and is more than likely they might not even engage here.
There it is. One of their team is a little bit too late, though.
It might hurt the confidence there. Usually that's what happens. When you see a team starting to rush and somebody gets knocked, they think about it twice. They say, I don't know. Maybe not right now.
If he had followed up with that grenade just a little bit sooner, that would have been real trouble there for RRQ.
Definitely. They do have the car in the back, so they could pretty much move out at any moment here. And they do have the bombing zone close by. It seems like they're still going to go ahead and engage. They are throwing smokes all over the place just to throw Team Terror from India a little bit off.
They drive the vehicle inside, trying to keep people out of harm in the red zone. Kind of a standoff here, and there it is. Look at that VSS. Woo! Getting the knock there on D2E. D2E goes down. Amit is, well, he's got 1 HP.
Yeah, he needs to go ahead and bandage up. He probably noticed that one of his shoulders was sticking out, so he's like, you know what, let me go ahead and just move a little bit there to the left.
That VSS mid-range is just absolutely lethal as well. You're dead before you know that you're getting shot.
Yeah, VSS actually, we saw it a lot there with Gainstar's Bilbo, which is currently not here, but he was one of the players that was using it a lot, and then Angry from Gainstar started using it as well, the VSS in the NA. More than likely, we'll go ahead and continue seeing it here as first time we actually see it on this tournament so far. Keep in mind, it is game number 2 in day 1.
Terrifying weapon indeed. We turn our attention to other parts of the map for a brief moment before we come back here to RRQ Athena in the warehouse.
Ooh, somebody got knocked out there through an explosion.
That's one of the CPT guys getting hit through maybe the red zone.
Yep, and Wildcard. Wildcard now in that car trying to get out of here.
South George Crates is their preferred drop spot, so they did go after it. They did loot it up successfully, and as you can see, rocking level 3 vest coming up George Crates, looking like a successful looting run.
And that zone still pretty much staying there towards the middle. So whoever landed Pachinki, Team Terror is currently on a great spot. They don't really have to push unless RRQ decides to go ahead and push them. That's the only time they're going to go ahead and see engagement. And talking about it, Amit once again knocks down somebody with that VSS.
Great shots from Amit over from Team Terror. Nice job to him. We've also got Team Big Russian Bot and BTR getting ready to square off here. Again, Luxy and company down to Zuxi. They have missing one of their players. He got knocked out of the buggy on the top of that mountain by GT Doyi. And here we go. We're gonna stare at each other from the compounds here as the zone closes. One thing I saw on the map as we kind of saw that ago was Evos had already left Yasnaya and left Cloud9 behind. Cloud9's currently rotating in, but Evos had left way before them and established position early, so that's one tactic we need to keep an eye on moving forward.
You definitely see a lot there from the teams, and I see Full Send, Fandy going down there, but right now we're focusing on RRQ and the Terror team. As they're gonna go ahead and see the car, more than likely they're gonna go ahead and just try to blow out the tires, or if not, blow out the car in place there by the Terror, as they decided not to go ahead and engage. And look at this, RRQ playing super smart, getting a lot of different G9 has now go ahead and move a little bit more towards Pachinki, but somebody from RRQ does get taken out there with the DP28, and that angle is amazing if he's able to go ahead and get this knock.
And here we go, C9 rolling up on the scene with BRT. They're receiving a lot of shots, and they decide to keep on moving.
They're just driving by, trying to see what they can hear. Ooh, okay, all right, getting fancy there. Calm down.
Yeah, Kodo, that's not going to land more often than not, just a friendly tip. We also have Illuminate getting a